In this crazy life we live, we all need someone to hold, a friend to light the way when the world starts to unfold through all the ups and downs.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Hey Girl Look. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Julia, and I am on a mission to create encouragement in this little corner of the internet and try to keep it real with you as I sort through my things and encourage myself. So, thanks for being here, and I hope that you'll be encouraged, and then so encouraged that you want to subscribe, and so encouraged that you want to share with a friend. But first and foremost, I mostly want you to be encouraged. So confession. I don't know if all of you know me personally, but I can say that the people that do know that I am a control freak. I like to be in control of situations that affect me, that I have to be a part of. I like to call the shots on it and have it done my way. It's just sewn in. I don't like group work because you don't get to be in control necessarily if you're working with a group. It's kind of crazy to say after all of these years and all the entities in which I've been in, but I finally discovered that I kind of like to roll solo, and it's because of my need to be in control. And I'm still sorting through why that need is, because as lazy as I am, I'm shocked to know this about myself, but it is true. And it's not necessarily something to brag about. This is not a brag. This is just something that I've really pinpointed and seen and looked back and found in situations when I was angry or feeling taken advantage of, or that I wasn't treated well in the situation. It usually was because I wasn't in control, or I didn't get the results that I thought should have happened, and it was because I was not in control. It goes deeper, of course, and I'll save that for my therapist. But what I wanted to speak to you today in relationship with that was something that I came across that I've always been familiar with, but it popped up in my universe again this week, or today, actually, this morning when I was having my quiet time, and it was the Serenity Prayer by Reinhold Neber. Yeah, Reinhold Neber. And lots of people are familiar with the Serenity Prayer because they use it. It's used a lot in 12-step programs, which are awesome, and for people who are in recovery for different things. And I've heard it quoted in movies and TV shows and things like that. So if you're not familiar with the Serenity Prayer, I will share it with you now. The Serenity Prayer says, God, give us the grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed, courage to change the things that should be changed, and the wisdom to distinguish the one from the other. Very simple, right? Super hard to put into practice, yes. So I started to think about each line, right? Is to accept with serenity. So not just accept, but with serenity. So not to say, okay, fine, I don't get to have my way, and then I'm stamping my feet the whole time. It's like with serenity, peace, and calm. If something doesn't work out in the way that you think that it should work out, and you have absolutely no control over it, you cannot change it, to be able to have peace with that, right? Just say, you know what? To quote one of those terms that has gained popularity over the years, it is what it is. And then the courage to change the things that you can change, that you have control over. And you know, we've talked about this in past installations of this show about sticking to goals, being better, having someone holding you accountable. Anything that are falling under those umbrellas are definitely things that you can change. It goes sometimes deeper in that we can have to maybe break down a system that we've been a part of for our whole lives that no longer serves us. We can change our mind. You can find out more information and become better educated. You can have better ideas. And You can grow in your compassion about a situation or a person or even for yourself. And oftentimes it can be scary because you may not feel like you're the most equipped to be doing the change or orchestrating the change. But if you feel called to or convicted, that's all the equipment that you need. So in the Christian faith or in the God believing faith, however you would like to put it, for those who believe in a higher power, there is a little quip that says, just try your best and God will do the rest. Meaning, if an idea or something is laid on your heart, the universe, God, is going to meet you when all of your abilities run out. He's going to equip you, or he, she, the universe, God, will equip you with everything you need to change that thing that you've gotten courage around changing. And a lot of times, what is attached to the lack of courage for change is shame. We may have gotten ourselves into insurmountable situations that just seem impossible. We may have made a mistake even though people try to warn us against it, or we may have broken off relationships or connections trying to pour into one that eventually did not work out. You may have found yourself in crazy debt, or you may have taken on that job that you thought, oh, it won't be so bad, when others was like, oh, it's maybe not such a good idea. Life is an experiment. It's not an experiment, but life is like, it's just, you have to give it a try. That's the only way you ever know. And that's how you gain wisdom. That's the only way you can know, right? The only way you really know that a hot stove will injure you. Some people are smart enough to take people's word for it, but usually you've got to have like hard evidence, or some people have to take it as far and push it and find out for themselves. I did not believe that I would break my arm from jumping in my mom's bed. I just didn't believe it. So I didn't take her word for it. So I had to test the theory out for myself. And then I finally found the courage to listen when she said, don't jump in her bed. But this goes deeper than not listening to adults who tell you. It's the courage to take a step back, even in situations that don't involve you directly, especially my recovering control freaks, and say, you know what? Either I can change the situation or I cannot, or offer yourself up to the situation. And if people take the help, then great. And if they don't take the help, that means it's not time for you to help them, or you may not be the entity. But finding that courage to change. Maybe there's a bad habit that you've picked up. Maybe you haven't been taking care of yourself in the way that you should, or maybe you've been even harming yourself. And subconsciously, you just are not feeling the best about yourself, and you're participating in behaviors that you just know are not going to be to your good. Listen, that happens. It happens. It happens to all of us. I've been there. And I can say that you just ask for the courage, just daily. Ask for the courage, and it will soon come. And then it's a practice. And then you lean on your community and say, listen, I'm trying to make this change. I'm trying to do this. You seek the help of the professionals. And I say that any problem that has professionals in place definitely is worthy of getting help, because obviously you're not the only one going through it. Yeah. So courage to change what you can. But the bigger piece is the wisdom to figure out, okay, should I be working on changing this, inserting myself into this, or are my time and abilities best used elsewhere? And that's wisdom. And that comes with life, like learning life lessons, living life, growing older. And for me, being prayerful and listening to what God has to say about the situation, what the universe is showing me about that situation. And just know that the clarity will come. Giving yourself the time to take some serenity, take some peace, and really sit with the situation often will provide lots of clarity. I'm not sure how useful it is to make it a full-on community event in its beginning stages. Maybe it's just a conversation that you have between you and your higher power, just to provide some clarity and taking some quiet time. Because when you're really quiet, you can really listen. We have such a cool society where we can be in touch and find out all the information we've ever wanted to know. But there's also so much that can be discovered in our quiet time, in our alone time, in our serenity, and in our peace. And if you are seeking the opinion of someone else, too many opinions around a situation may not give you the answer that you need. I love this idea of everything that we need is inside of us already. And because I believe that because we are God created and God connected, that yes, everything we need is inside. We just need to be still and we need to listen. So take the serenity prayer with you this week. God, give us the grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed, and the courage to change the things that should be changed, and the wisdom to distinguish one from the other. From one control freak to maybe the other. As we travel through this very hard and changing time and just life, just pray, ask, believe, receive the wisdom that we need to know the things that we should try to change and the things that we should just let be. I love you. Thank you for coming again. I'll be praying for you that you have the wisdom. And I'm here. We're here. Let me know in the comments if you don't mind sharing a situation that you finally got the courage to change, or something that you maybe figured out that you didn't have to necessarily be involved. You weren't the one that was supposed to be changing it. You were instead supposed to be accepting it as it was. If you don't want to share, that's totally fine. But if you would, I'm sure people would be happy to read and be inspired. Okay, I love you all, and I will see you next week. Have a great one. Mwah.
In this crazy life we live, we all need someone to hold, a friend to light the way when the world starts to unfold. Through all the ups and downs, the highs